Welcome, welcome, welcome to another live session after a bit of longer gap. Let's begin a new month, and I hope that everyone is energized and fully ready for big month coming up after the NFP. I mean, it's a couple of days. I hope that you guys were there. So let me know, traders, if you are here. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, welcome. Thank you. I hope that you guys can hear and see me because it's a long gap. So I would appreciate if you um, respond to the live chat that you can hear me and see me so that we can begin session. Thank you. So from my end, I can see everything is perfect. Hope that, yeah. Hello, nice to see you here. Thank you very much for joining the live session. After a gap, we are here and would like to see that we are starting with a good start. Welcome, all good. Thank you very much for joining the live session. Okay, so let's begin to understand what's happening in the market. I hope that during this period where I was not present, you guys traded. Let's start some music and then we will be starting to analyze the chart, looking at the market to find the best trade possible in the market. And at the same time, also I will appreciate if you guys and girls always remain in control by doing the risk management. So which instrument we can look at first that we will be starting. So are you guys looking at the currency or XAU USD? I will be also looking at the calendar. If we look at the Forex factory calendar, we can see that starting with the calendar is coming up in a matter of an hour. There will be news on GBP. So on GBP news, okay, almost 5 news coming up on GBP. So this instrument gonna be absolutely volatile, which is already I saw that volatile. We will be looking at British Pound US dollar and GBP JPY, and also coming up later on dollar, which is the unemployment claims, and later also early morning in my zone is coming up FOMC. Also we will look at that what we can see on this. So there was a gap and I hope that okay. So let's begin starting with gold. As FOMC coming, we might see that increased volatility. Which one do you want to look at first? Let's look at first GBP JPY, as there will be GBP news and also the GBP USD, and then we will be looking at XAU USD. I saw that there is a very good price action on GBP USD. So I will be beginning with GBP USD, in fact, and then we will be looking at other pairs as well. We might find a potential opportunity in those instruments. So let's first of all begin with GBP USD, and also you can let me know in the live chat if you are looking at any other instrument. And then this instrument I will be doing now a multi-time frame analysis, and then once we have done the multi-time frame analysis, based on that we can look at the lower time frame potential trading opportunity on British Pound US dollar. Let's look at the first of all monthly. There is a new monthly candle open on GBP USD. This is the monthly candle. Let's first understand the overall flow in the market, which is the primary goal of doing the multi-time frame analysis, is to look at the overall flow in the market. So which way the market is heading. So if we look at a British pound US dollar, from the monthly perspective, we can see that there is a monthly impulse here on GBPUSD. Okay, so this is the monthly impulse, and with that monthly impulse, we have seen there is a rejection here. Okay, so which is basically a strong rejection on the monthly, and with that monthly rejection, we have seen that there was a huge breakdown from the monthly perspective, which is the monthly bearish engulfer on British pound US dollar. And because this monthly candle had a huge rejection in that market, we might see again British pound US dollar trying to break further, because there was a huge rejection on the monthly. Less likely that it's gonna bounce back from here without grabbing enough liquidity from the support. So from the multi-time frame approach, if we look at the monthly on British pound US dollar, we see that bearish bias, and as a result, this monthly candle once open, we have seen that the bulls tried to break this high to this level, and then we see there is a break again. Currently the market on the monthly support expecting it to be here. So if we look at in that perspective, looking at the weekly chart, we see that there is a different picture on the weekly on British pound US dollar. And previous week there is a long wick here, and also there is a long wick here. On both sides there is a long wick. This week we can see the market has broken to the upside. Now this current weekly candle has a clue here that we can look at. Okay, so looking at the subtle clues always helps to understand the overall flow in the market. So we can see that from the weekly there is a breakdown here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of breakdown, followed by this week we can see the market just has broken that high, and then the price has just broken that high, grabbed the liquidity, and currently we are almost nearly to the end of the week, and it's trying to break below because it has grabbed the liquidity from the previous weekly high. In this whole move, there is a probability for downside here, and also we can see that it's forming a kind of head and shoulder in that uptrend. Therefore there is a potential for a break of structure. We see that there is a break of structure, and because there is a break of structure, we might see now the market is coming back to that swing low, which is an important support level. Now dropping down to the daily, here is the key that we can look at. Now this daily candle, what we see that the previous daily candle is a massive breakdown here, and that daily candle with that massive breakdown, the market has crossed that high, and we can see the price after crossing that high has crossed this significant resistance level where there is a high liquidity. As the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, we can expect now British pound US dollar to form another potential bearish candle, forming a potential daily head and shoulder in that area, and then to drop to the downside to create a new lower low on British pound US dollar. And therefore this is an important level of support here, and expecting it to break below and then to drop down to create a new lower low. Here is what we can see, that this is an important neckline, which is support turning resistance here. From the 4-hour perspective, we can see there is a big drop here, pullback, expecting it to drop down again to create a new lower low. So here is what we can see in the 1-hour chart on British pound US dollar, is that the price in this lower time frame, this is a support turning resistance here from the 1-hour, and what we can see here for the market forming series of lower high, which where you can see that there's a resistance here, and with that resistance expecting British pound US dollar to come down and then to form a bearish price action, which we might see that eventually breaking below. So in my opinion, and what I think, that GBPUSD, as we can see, there is a strong breakdown, bearish price action. We have seen that breakout again, grab liquidity. It's an impulse here. We have seen a pullback, potentially in the upcoming news and session, we can expect Gbpusd to return back to the baseline or to the support level. So from the 4-hour, we can expect it to in the upcoming session to drop, or I think that at least 65-70p possible towards the downside on British pound US dollar. And daily perspective, here you can see daily candle already tested this neckline of this lower time frame reversal pattern. If we look at the 1-hour, we can spot this reversal pattern here, and from that zone we can see the market slowly trying to break below. So for me, in what I think that on Gbpusd, before reaching that level, it could reach this level, which basically giving a probability or the edge in that direction. So therefore, expecting Gbpusd to come back down and then to create a new lower low. I believe that, guys, you have understood and ready for trading this market. If you guys are here, let me know. We'll be discussing also other instrument as well. Good evening, welcome, hello everyone, good day. GJ been moving perfectly recently. Okay, good day, coach. William from South Africa, welcome William, thanks for joining the live session. So let's begin now. With that in mind, there is a potential edge on British pound US dollar that we can look at. Also, we'll be looking at later on XAUUSD and Gbpjpy. Gbpjpy as well, we can see that in the same manner. But I think that Gbpusd looks potentially downside than Gbpjpy, as in couple of minutes there is a news coming up. So what I would like to do here is, with a proper risk management, to open a day trade. But it is very important that, guys, you understand that there will be news, there could be spike, any direction the market can be heading. So let's for the time being, for this trading purpose, I will be looking for a short-term trade here on Gbpusd with a strict risk management, as there will be a bigger stop loss. So you definitely not allowed to open any trade without proper risk management, which is the primary reason that to be. So here expecting Gbpusd to break in that direction. So with a 55 pip stop loss on British pound US dollar, I'm going to open a sell trade by market. So with 55 pip stop loss, definitely you must do the risk management to make sure that you lot sizing. If you don't know how to calculate the lot size, if you don't have the lot sizer, then also you can also there are some website that can help you to calculate the lot size if you don't have that. So Gbpusd, I am entering short trade, stop loss at 1.29582 and TP target at 1.28393. So this is where we are waiting for Gbpusd to give us potential downtrend. So I have opened a sell with limited risk, as the TP target that expecting on Gbpusd is 1.28393, and as there will be news in around 30 minutes, so we can expect this is a potential news trade, and the stop loss is 1.29582, which is basically a bit of wider stop loss. So if your account is small, you have to be very cautious about opening the trade, and definitely I strictly recommend to open in a demo account, as anything can happen, and I will be explaining throughout the session until we see any that any profit taking or anything. We will be focusing on this trade and try to understand. Keep in mind, traders, here it is not all about opening a trade, but more on a learning and growing as a trader. Now, I would appreciate if you give a thumbs up. I see that likes is going up, but if you push it to nearly to the 50 will be helpful for the channel, and also we can create more content for you. Thanks for joining the live session, and also give us the feedback how you guys are thinking about that. Cool. Good evening, sir. Welcome. Hello, everyone. So you're short on Gbpusd, and welcome. Now there is a news coming. So this is a potentially targeting the news for the market to break below. Now the trend is the primary concern here, primary importance for this trade, as we can see that British pound US dollar globally in a downtrend. Locally also we can see some downtrend. So because it's in a downtrend, expecting for the market to trend in the downward direction. So our target here in this trade is nearly to 65 pip, as there is a news coming expecting a rejection towards the downside or deeper correction that can give us potential some pips expecting, but at the same time anything can happen in trading. So make sure, guys, as I mentioned, it's very important that you always remain fully in control. Welcome. So the reason I'm on GBP is because we might see quick volatile movement on this instrument that can give us some opportunity. Welcome. Yeah, we are back. So, are you guys excited for trading day? Let me know if you are excited for the GBP coming up. And I would like to start a poll here on GBP. Do you think that GBP gonna be bearish? That means that GBP USD is gonna be bearish or bullish? What's your opinion? So we are on a trade, but I would like to, that. What's your opinion on GBP USD? So let's cast a vote, and also we will be discussing in depth on this trade once we close or before the close. So make sure you stick till the end for learning purpose, because here the main goal is to help trader to learn and grow as a trader in the academy. So if you guys are excited, want to learn and grow, so then stick till the end and also ask questions more and more. So British pound US dollar on the lower time frame, wanting to see that it's breaking below to the support level as news coming in. So that's gonna be pretty volatile news coming up. So if we look at daily level today, today's daily level is at I think this is the daily high today to here, switches to this level, and with that level, what we can expect for the market to revert in that direction. Bearish hopefully after the news. Yeah, this is what expecting. Salimina, we're excited to be here and to learn more from you. Have you taken the, yeah, we are short on GBP USD. Is it still valid? We have taken GBP USD trade short from this level to the downside and expecting it to drop further to the level. So we are short on GBP USD, which is near our entry, expecting it to drop back to the downside. And with the news on British pound US dollar, we could see that potentially downside here, and that's what expecting on this. All right, so you can see some downside on British pound US dollar in that area. And with that in mind, what we can expect here is for this market to break below to this support level, which if we see at least halfway down, we can take partial profit. And the reason I'm short, I'll be explaining so that you guys can pick that understanding how that it is predicted, either right or wrong. The most important part here is to take the learning so that you can grow as a trader. Also, I would like to know your trading experience, how long you are trading and how long you are in the channel as well. I think Gbpusd is going to buy. If you think, could be, but we need to take a side, isn't it? You can't be both buy and sell unless we are hedging. But in my analysis, it's bearish because I'm a trend trader. Trading with the trend is the most profitable trading system one can ever have. One single trade will not give you a proper understanding about trading with the trend. Trading with the trend is like going with the flow. Okay, so going with the flow is very important. So when you know how to go with the flow, you can reserve or conserve your energy. That those who understand how the universe works in the same way. So if you want to reserve your energy for anything worthwhile doing, then you need to also learn to go with the flow. So how do you learn to go with the flow? Is by navigating any event in the way it happens, right? Because this is where a very critical point that many people don't understand, that we spend a lot of energy by going against something that is naturally happening. So if you know how to go with the flow, then you can reserve those energy to create something better, either being a trader or building something. So going with the flow is also applicable in the market. So the first step is to look at where everyone or the big boys or the major flow in the market, and then trading with the flow, because the price will drop if the majority of the the transaction is sell order. Very normal. Okay, so if you imagine that the volume, if the order flow is towards the downside, then we have to trade with the downside, which is going with the flow. So if you look at British pound US dollar, now look at the daily chart on this, what we can see that there are a couple of points that we can look at. First of all, you see this daily move. It's a massive bearish drop here, and in that bearish drop we saw a breakout, which is a temporary pullback, and it has broken an important swing high in the opposite direction of the major trend. So the major trend on British pound US dollar is, you can see it's a bear market, and we have seen there is a breakout here, drop, and again another breakout. So back to back, two important swing high is broken in that long-term downtrending market, followed by a very strong rejection on the daily with a bearish engulfer, has crossed the 20 EMA and then closed back below as a bearish candle with a wick at the bottom. So unless it's unfortunate, I think that Gbpusd may drop bigger to the downside. Long-term picture, we might see that to this level that I'm expecting. If you look at the monthly here, monthly 20 EMA as well, though the price on the monthly support, but we can expect a drop before it return or continue to drop here. So from the 4-hour going back here, we can see that it's forming head and shoulder in that area. Okay, so with that head and shoulder formation, we can expect British pound US dollar to drop to the downside, and then to drop here to this support level, which is a crucial zone to look at on British pound US dollar. So with that in mind, what we can expect on GBPUSD is that this market is from the 1 hour we can see a big doji followed by narrow candle, bearish candle, another doji. It just keep pushing down in the direction. Therefore, on GBPUSD, what we can expect for the market to drop to that support level, which is an important support, and at least we can see the halfway. We can take partially profit and the moving the stop loss at entry for further downside. Welcome. Thank you. Because it is present in FVG. So what time frame FVG, Omar? You can clarify, because it's present in FVG 1 hour. Okay, so you are thinking that 1 hour FVG. So you are talking about this one. Okay, all right. So I understand your point of view, which is so you are saying that here, this is the above this doji, it's a resistance, and it was in an uptrend on the 1 hour. There's a breakup structure, there's an imbalance here dropping to that FVG, and therefore we should see that it's going back up. Okay, so this is your understanding. That is completely, I understand that from what point of view you are thinking to buy, which, as I mentioned, in trading everything is probability. No one is right or wrong at any point. But the reason I did not consider that one as an FVG, though it is by rule of thumb it is because always all the logic that I use is in the direction of the trend. So for example, FVG, head and shoulder, double top, double bottom, whatever situation that happens, the first thing that I consider is the direction of the trend. So when the trend is down, okay, so the trend is down now, everything is down. Now if this one, let's say this is FVG, right? Let's flip that chart. Okay, let me flip that chart. Okay, now look at here. If this is the situation here, then I would say that yeah, this is FVG absolutely, and I'm gonna sell here. The reason is the trend is down, right? So because the trend is down, this FVG, this move is potentially a fake move, and that's why this FVG is not being so important to me, is because if you look at this 1 hour, let's replay the chart and understand that if it isn't there, then what would have happened. You see that this is the 1 hour chart, and see the structure, how it has formed. There is a big drop on the 1 hour, followed by a doji, a green doji, followed by a big drop here. Therefore, in this area, what we have seen that there is a triangular pattern here. Okay, so with that in mind, what we can see in this triangular pattern, okay, so in that area here on this is where, okay, so this is where we can see that there is a triangle here. And with the triangular pattern, as a rule of thumb, the market should be breaking in that direction. Okay, so in this direction should be breaking. Therefore, because the market should be breaking in that direction, but it has broken the other direction, right? So if you look at here, what do you see? That it's just broken the other direction. So this breakout now, if we look at this zone here, this zone here is a potentially fake out. Fake out means that it should have been broken in that direction, but those who already sold here, they're stopped out. As you have seen my an educational video that I posted around 10 days ago, the week before, we have discussed about this kind of fake out, that how the impatient traders can be stopped out in those situations, because as a rule of thumb, everyone, in the beginning also I thought in that way. So okay, there is a triangular pattern, big drop, let's sell, just to see that the market has gone the other direction and then stopped out everything and then moved in the major direction. So it gained momentum by by grabbing more liquidity from that level here onward. So we can expect on GBP USD to drop in that direction to that support level. So this is what the primary reason was, the sell, because if it is a fake out in that direction, which is basically a pure liquidity grab, if that's the case, then the market primarily should come back to that level, which is the support of this fake out. Okay, so this is the support of that fake out. Now when the market will drop here, it will be leveled with that. So basically this is a whole structure is a fake out, and then to break below, because it gained momentum with this fake out. I will be also discussing why fake out can give you a bigger momentum, the probability for drop further. Because of this fake out, the market may drop even more than what it should have been. So that's the plan. And as I mentioned, the market may do completely different. The market might follow your plan or not, but it's always good idea is not to risk big and doing the proper risk management. Hope that you guys are enjoying the live session. Make sure you give a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you're not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. You can see the market start to drop from that level, which is good for us to see some peep running in. Anyone with me in this trade? Welcome. Good day. Nice to see you again. Thank you very much. Francis, do you think that if GBP goes down, it may affect other pairs like Euro USD? GBP has a little impact on Euro, but yeah, there will have a potential impact in all the instrument, which literally we see all the time. When there is a too much big news, it impact. Now, as I mentioned, in trading, we always need to ask why. Why is the key, because it creates what I call the curiosity. And to become a good trader, you must have to be curious. Now, I have a question. Let's say GBP news coming up, which is quite a few, almost 5 on a row if we look at the calendar. And the time is still synchronized. So therefore, what's your view on if GBP having a very high impact on the news, have a very high impact on GBP, why other pairs also may have an impact? So can anyone come up with any ideas or understanding why there could be probability for an impact on other instrument as well? So let me ask you that question on the live chat. So I have posted that question. Can anyone come up with some answers that will definitely help you in your growth as a trader? Welcome. What if the news spike up before going down? Can you look at gold? Yeah, we'll be looking at. First, let's focus on one trade at a time. It directly falls on USD, which could impact other USD pairs. Okay, so yeah, I got one answer from Goklu. Anyone has any different opinion? I see Euro at least moving on similar direction, not at the same pace. Yeah, that's one point. We see that British pound US dollar now started to drop in that direction, which we can see some movement here, and there is a potential downside here. And okay, let's find out. All right, so you see that some downside here, which I was expecting. There is a break here, we can see in that area, and bearish movement. We can see, we can spot on that. Make sure you're not doubling up your risk, which is very important to make sure that you keep your risk properly in check. Okay, so some impact coming. We have 4 minutes to go now. Just letting you guys, if we see the sudden spike, very strong spike, even before the hitting the TP, I might take the profit. So in that case, I will be giving you a shout out about what I'm going to do in that situation. So we are on Gbpusd, sell trade, running on in some little profit, expecting it to drop down so that we can take the full TP on this. Okay, so GBP is also impacting gold. Some movement we can see on gold as well. Okay, so we have 2 minutes to go for the news to come up, the data, and I think some, yeah, so it's 2 minutes. Expecting a spike towards the downside. It may happen in any direction, but anyway, to look at that. So GBPUSD, we are short on that. And as 30 seconds for the news to come up, make sure guys hold tight and make sure you do the risk management, which is very important. And if it is melting in the direction, take some peep here, expecting. I'm ready either to take profit or close at any point if we see spike towards the downside. Okay, see downside and holding it. There's a up and down. Okay, some improvement in the movement. The probability for dropping, expecting. See, might grab liquidity. Sure, it's trying to have a heading. So if you look at the 15 minutes, you can see there is a candle trying to break to the upside. Now this move from the daily 30 minutes. Look at the 5 minutes to see. Could be a complete liquidity grab. Couple of pip movement towards the upside here. I think gold had a rejection from the top. Okay. What's happening with the Gbpusd? So we're waiting to see what's it's gonna try to grab more liquidity from the top, or a wider stop loss. So if you look at the daily, I try to retest the daily resistance. So the data has come on Gbpusd is so you can see that on it's almost the same. There is no change in it. So the forecast and the actual is same. Now this move, you have to just wait to see what's happening. So from this order block, it's having a rejection. At the 4 hour, I'm still not be fully impressed with the fact that it might be bullish. It could be that it's getting for deeper liquidity grab, as this is the daily high. That's why I put the stop loss well above the daily high, is because if it is going for another retest, still there is a probability for rejection. So while we are running that British pound US dollar, we have seen the news has come out. Now the rest will depend on here how the price. Now we see that there is a complete rejection here. If it is returning back, then either in this way or in that way, we will be holding the trade. Now the only thing that we have in our hand is to wait for the market to return back and then to trend, or to go back and to the stop loss. We will not be closing in the middle. I will be leaving that here. Let's look at, in the meantime, on XAUUSD, what's happening with gold, how the market is doing with the gold. Now gold market, if we saw that on XAUUSD, there was a massive drop here, and with the drop, if you look at the daily, the price today so far has reached that daily resistance. And from that perspective, if we look at, we can see the market in that zone has formed that that structure. On XAUUSD, if we look at longer term picture, we can see that basically this instrument is on gold. It's approaching a resistance line, and if we look at the 1 hour here as well, we can see that there is a local upside bias, and in that local upside bias, after liquidity grab, can expect for the market to trend in that direction. So looking for the lower time frame confirmation, if we look at the 1 minute, another time frame, we can see that the GBP news also, gold had an impact. And as we mostly trade on gold on the lower time frame, 1 minute perspective on gold, the market, I think that reaching in a zone where we could see potentially a rejection on gold, ultimately to the major direction. So if we look at the daily chart on gold, we can see that this is the daily resistance so far. On like the Gbpusd, gold also had a very strong rejection yesterday, and today we can see the market basically after this rejection from that resistance, the price started to drop again to the downside here on gold. Now if we look at the lower time frame, looking at the 15 minutes and the lower time frame, we can see that gold from this resistance line, the price slowly approach that level, approach that zone here, and from that we can see the price may break below with the upcoming news later today. And looking at the 1 minute on XAUUSD, we can see that in this lower time frame, so this is a resistance on XAUUSD. So again, looking at the 1 hour, if we look at one thing here, we can see that from this crossover of 10 and 20 EMA, gold previous hourly candle is a doji. So if the market is having a retest of the 1 hour 20 EMA, we may see that a complete rejection potentially here. So we will be waiting to see how the market reacting on this one on XAUUSD, to see potentially if there is any entry while we are running the Gbpusd trade. So looking at the calendar, we can see that coming up also there will be 11:30, there's a tentative on GBP, and then there will be another one coming up my zone, which is around 1 hour 20 minutes later. Unemployment claims, so that could be also an important news that we can look at. Let's look at what's happening with the Gbpusd. So Gbpusd, there is a, I'm expecting to have a rejection, which we see some after the liquidity grab, some rejection potentially. If this is a fake out with the news, then can expect it to return back. Have to hold the trade, nowhere to go back in the middle. So we'll be letting it run while we will be looking at XAUUSD on the lower time frame potential entry. Okay, so here is okay, so on XAUUSD, looking at here, yeah, so you can see that rejection on slowly on XAUUSD. That rejection might lead that price to come back here. Okay, they're waiting for the market to, this is a resistance, which is an important level of resistance here. And as the next one coming on dollar is very important for gold and GBPUSD as well. I told you, sir. Yeah, that's good morning. Good morning. Thank you. So it's very predictable at the moment. You mean unpredictable? Okay, Anthony. So let's say USD. I wouldn't say completely unpredictable. We see a directional bias, but as FOMC, it's gonna be very volatile. Definitely, no doubt about it. So if you look at the 4-hour here, we can see that this is a complete breakdown here on XAUUSD, and with that breakdown, what we can see here is that this is an important level of support, and with that support, which is basically support here, support here, support here, support here, pretty important level of support, and a complete breakdown. If it is moving to the direction in that liquidity zone, we could see that it's basically breaking below. We'll see that what level it's gonna hit for the time being. And GBPUSD is just we'll see what's happening with the GBPUSD. So it might retest the daily high, but I think we could see potential rejection from that level, which is also the monthly support. Okay. So here, if we look at a 5-minute chart on British pound US dollar, this is a very long bullish engulfer and narrower candle here on the lower time frame. We'll see that looking at the 15 minutes. Keep it here as it is, and while you will be looking at XAUUSD, looking at the 1 minute Gbpusd, I will be leaving it to play out by itself while we are looking at also XAUUSD. Good afternoon, welcome. Okay, Gbpusd, impressive here. At the lower time frame here on British pound US dollar. Leave it in that area while we are looking at say USD. So again, there is a a bounce. And if we look at 1 hour on XAUSD, expecting it to retest the level here on XAUSD. If it is going up, well, this is a very strong rejection here on gold, and with that rejection, if we see the market has tested that level, we can look for that opportunity here. USD, it's in a very strong breakout, and with this breakout on Gbpusd, we'll see that if we might see that daily level is being broken again, and I'm still holding it. There is still probability for rejection with the Gbpusd news. Looking at on gold, okay, so here on gold we can see that this is a very important level on gold, and with that important resistance line on gold, which is an important level, and from that resistance, what you can expect on gold for the market to retest and then to drop again in that direction. So really appreciate your support, guys. Make sure you give a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press that notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every day. Now gold is breaking above. Oh, it just tested the 20 EMA on the 1 hour. All right, so one thing to see, we can see XAUUSD currently from this level slowly returning, trying to return back in the direction. Like to see that some rejection from the top. If we look at the 1 hour, we can see that after retesting that 1 hour is trying to break below, and from the 5 minutes perspective on gold, daily tested the resistance. Yeah, on XAUUSD potentially for bearish. So from the 1 minute chart on XAUUSD, if we look at, we see that Gbpusd had a breakout. So it is now retesting the daily resistance. We have to leave it on the market to see what happened. It's a pretty massive bounce. Now, as this is the previous resistance, this is the point that we need to wait to see either it is getting again return back to the support or it's continuing to the upside. Leave Gbpusd there. Looking at the XAUUSD, on XAUUSD, there is also a previous resistance line here. So we'll see that news coming in an hour on dollar, which is the unemployment claims, which definitely will have an impact on Gbpusd. And tomorrow coming up FOMC, which will also have an impact on the market. So Gbpusd now on the daily resistance line, which is the previous daily resistance. See if we see a rejection from that level or continuation. Imagine a steep bounce, and we see the price has just crossed the daily resistance. The previous high, today's high, was on 29468, and now we'll see if we can see that rejection again to the daily support. Now, as the market has gone well above from the entry, now our goal will be on Gbpusd. If the market drop back below our entry, we may close with minimum profit or with nearly to the break even for this trade here on British pound US dollar. And with that respect, as the market has just crossed the daily resistance, we can expect another retest to the daily, to the support. Now at this point, we will be waiting for potential retest. If Gbpusd now coming back below our entry, we will be exiting the trade with minimum. But first, let's see if it is breaking below or again returning back to the upside. As news is coming, it is expected for a potential drop. If Gbpusd failed to create a higher high, it might retest 1.2895 level potentially. I will hold it, and in the meantime, let's see what's happening with XAUUSD. And on gold, there is as you know, that there is a news coming up later today, and that news is very important on dollar, which definitely will have an impact in the market, and that's an important news on dollar, which is the unemployment claim. So let's see what's happening with the Gbpusd. It's getting a rejection or again moving back up. See, there is a primary breakup structure. Okay, so XAUUSD from that level started to break below. The price crossed that liquidity zone, and from that liquidity zone, expecting for the market to return back towards the downside. And with that in mind, what we can see here for the price to cross downside here, to see what's happening. Gbpusd wanting to see that it's failed to create a higher high, which is good for us to see if that's the scenario with the upcoming news. Since GU has broken 1.2946, I'm thinking it might still drop. Well, there is a probability, as I mentioned, there is a probability as the price just has crossed the daily resistance. We can expect a drop at least to the daily support. But we have to be patient here because this 1 minute trend looks a little stronger here. So if the spike comes with the news, that will be a good point that we can look for. If it breaks below, then we should see that it's coming to this level here, 1.2904 or 1.29 level. While we can see that on XAU USD, it's still trending in that direction. Okay, so you can see that this is the 4-hour where the market is heading to that level. On gold, we see that the market basically it's trying to be heading in that direction. So it's still in an uptrend until we see that gold managed to break below. I will still be waiting for potential breakdown. As news coming in 20 minutes, we should be able to see, not in 20 minutes, it's around 50 minutes time. That will be a big market mover on unemployment claims news coming up. Also, there is the FOMC coming later today. So we'll be holding on to that. So we are running Gbpusd. We'll keep that running. While let's find out a level on XAUSD that we can look for potential entry. GBP XAUSD. This is the resistance line here, and that resistance line is a significant level. Okay, which is, if we look at the daily, we can see the 4-hour level is here, 1.2677. We may see that far, may not see, but at the moment I'd like to look at the lower time frame to see what's happening. Okay. In the meantime, if you guys smash the like button, I'd appreciate if you support the channel by giving a thumbs up. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. XAUSD managed to break out with a momentum here, and let's see where it might be heading. Gbpusd bulls still struggling. That might lead that market to break below, which would be a good news to see that if it is coming back below, we'll be holding it for the market to return if it is. I'll wait for Gbpusd while we are looking at XAUSD. Some improvement here to the upside, and currently the market is heading okay. So here with this momentum on gold, we can see that it's basically breaking above, which is an important resistance line. You can see there is another okay, Gbpusd from, looks like this trend is getting exhausted on Gbpusd, which we could see eventually potential bearish, while gold is heading in the major direction. Okay, Gbpusd managed to slowly breaking below. I think we could see now potentially downside momentum. If we see that, we will be able to take the trade to the level that we are expecting. Gold as well trying to break below. We'll see that where it is heading. Okay, on Gbpusd we can see that it's slowly trying to break below, which is good for us to see. And XAUSD, we see the primary breakup structure, and with that breakup structure on British pound US dollar, pardon me, on gold, we will be waiting for the market to break in that direction. Okay, British pound US dollar and XAUSD, we are almost in a zone where there could be. Look at the 4 hour, which is closing in 1 hour 10 minutes, and here bearish 5 minutes candle. Same time, gold had a bounce, a pretty strong bounce here, wanting to see that it's going back to the resistance, where if it is directly hitting that level, which is 2677, after we see potential reversal, we can look for potential entry opportunity. Thank you. Okay. Now, at the moment, what we can look for on GBPSG is it's crazily bounced, and the moment the only then we have the price already broken the daily resistance, Okay, wait, peep gap here is still. The momentum is stronger now with the 1 hour close. Might not hold it. Okay. So the last point that we can see if it is having any kind of rejection from that level. This is the 5 minutes candle which is forming, 15 minutes which is forming potentially bullish candle. Here we have to wait for the market to return that. We need to the last point that we have to see what's happening. We will be leaving it here. Looking at on gold, we can see that this one is trying to break out here, and with that breakout we can expect for the market to return back to the upside. Welcome. So okay, so on XAUSD currently, locally it is bullish, and with the upcoming news, if it is breaking above, then we might be able to see some rejection towards the downside. Okay, Gbpusd, we might see that bounce still on the trade, but we're at the top on the point, may keep pushing high. Okay, so you're getting stopped out on that. Gbpusd didn't work out, and we have to let that go. We can see the market is heading stopped out in that 1%. So, but with the XAUSD, let's see where it is heading. We might find further opportunity on XAUSD. So with Gbpusd, we just hit that stop loss, and I wouldn't be interested at the moment on that one anymore. We see that there's a rejection. See on gold what's happening, and with that on gold, okay. So we can see that on this one, um, so GBSG we are minus on that 54 pip. We'll see what other instrument is bringing to us. On gold, what we see that here, it's pushing high. This is what, from the daily, if we look at, just moving up, and I think that if it reach that level where we are expecting, um, above this level there is a high liquidity, we might be able to find potentially entry opportunity with the upcoming news for a reversal. So we will be looking to see if there is any potential entry on let's say USD. Welcome, welcome. Okay, the market is heading to the resistance line where high liquidity zone in that area. And we'll see the news coming up in 25 minutes. We'll be covering that to see if we can find opportunity on gold, and Gbpusd just pushing high, which is basically showing a very committed bullish movement. And yeah, let's see where it is heading. In the meantime, let's look at on let's say USD. Expecting it to reach that level on let's say USD, and after reaching that we can look for potential sell opportunity. Let's see where it is heading. So we can see the market is approaching that resistance line. This is the 1 minute chart. What I will be looking here, if you look at the one daily chart, you can see the gold already has made a significant rejection. So This is the daily opening and closing here in that level. Now, if we look at the 1 minute, the market already have shown very promising bullish momentum, and in this zone, as there is a news coming, we might see the spike. But for me, I would be more interested on opening any position after the news. We could place a pending order here for potential sell, but spike could be very aggressive and it might just take us out of the trade with a spread gap. So I would wait for the news to come up another 20 minutes, and then we can look for that potential entry. GBP USD, ultimately we might see after break of all of this high will eventually could return back. It might go to retest this neckline. If it reach that far, there's a daily 20 MA, we might be able to find also selling opportunity, but at the moment we will be leaving it there. So XAUSD had a strong breakout above this resistance line at the moment. It's on a very crucial level on XAUSD, and I think that um, as news is coming in 15 minutes, if spike initially to the upside, we might see that there could be a rejection towards the downside from that level. Let's see, we will be waiting for that. Gbpusd, we see that there is a breakout, and because there is a breakout here, this is the resistance line, and there's a gap here, there's a fair value gap. So now the only thing that we can look at now on Gbpusd is to wait for the market to reach 1.301617 level. If the market is testing that resistance snake line, we can look for potential selling in this instrument. In the meantime, on XAUUSD, if we look at, we can see that this is where on XAUUSD the market slowly, from this resistance, we could see that okay, so here GBPUSD could did we just yeah, we stopped out on GBPUSD. We're waiting for further entry. We'll see what happened on XAUUSD. It's a part of trading. So as what you can see here, with the unemployment claims, both of this instrument will get ready for potential move, and that's where we will be looking for entry again. Here you can see that on XAUSD, okay, so here what we can see on gold, okay, we have to wait for the news because we don't want to get stopped out again with the spike. Best way is to wait for the news to come up, and then we'll be re-entering once we find suitable entry. Looking at on Gbpusd, it's a uptrend at the moment locally, so you may see that it's going again to retest that level. We'll leave it there on Gbpusd. On XAUSD, here is, you can see on XAUSD, and okay. On the lower time frame, we can see there is a candle formation on gold, which is basically showing locally upside yet. And also, I have a I would like to start a poll about uh, the upcoming. So we had a poll before on Gbpusd, so 61% bearish, 39% bullish. So I end that poll. Let's, before the unemployment claims, what's your view on XAUSD? Can you ask this question? So what's your view on XAUSD? Is I posted a poll on the chat. What's your view on XAUSD? Okay, here what we can see on gold is basically breaking out in that direction, and that breakout might give further momentum for another potential drop. We'll see where it is heading. Okay, locally we see some upside here on gold, and that upside bias could lead that price come back to the support level. From the daily, we can see there is a pretty strong bounce here on the daily, and Okay, so we have only 5 minutes to go for the news to come up, and your screen is frozen. Screen is frozen. Shouldn't be. Screen frozen. Do you see guys? Screen frozen. Okay, now what we can see here on XAU USD, the market slowly broken above from the daily. It's in a resistance line. After such a big drop, do you think that it's gonna go up to the resistance line without further downside here? So looking at all of this on Gbpusd and gold, Gbpusd in a zone where it might retest this neckline and then could continue to drop. On gold, we can see that it's moving quite aggressively to the upside. Now, if it is a reversal, which is a very good question to look at, but at the moment, the news will definitely give us a direction, so which is coming in 2.5 minutes. And also, there will be FOMC coming later, so we will be looking to all of this to see how it might be impacting the overall picture. So you can see that on Gbpusd, it's forming a kind of head and shoulder at the moment at the top, and daily price action from this level. We find very good opportunity we will be looking to enter. And on XAUUSD, also it's having some rejection from the top. So we have 1 minute to go. First, waiting for the news, and then we'll see where it is heading with the news, and then we can look for potential entry. Okay, so how the data came out to be, and so Gbpusd also getting reaction on XAUUSD. So it's forming a bullish so far still. I think we might see that deeper liquidity grab and then coming down. Okay, so here we can see that on like say USD, we might see reaction on this, and from that level it's very important to see if pardon me. So you can see that um, the news didn't put a very big impact in the market. So we see that because I think it's because of the FOMC coming. So um, if we look at unemployment claims, which came out to be 221k out of 223k forecast, so that basically having not very aggressive move here with the news. And as FOMC coming, we might see that basically it's magnifying that level. So the option here is for us to wait a little further before the data come out, and then we can look for that potential trading opportunity. I would be waiting for the news to come up, and then we can look for that entry opportunity in the market. I think that will be the best way. Being patient is the key in trading. And with that said, we had a long session. I'll be coming up tomorrow again in the live session. I would like to see all of you there, guys. In the meantime, I'll be also posting analysis. You can stay subscribed and also press that bell notification so that you're notified as soon as I'm posting any of the content for educational purpose. So with that being said, thank you for joining this live session. I'll see you again trading live together. Until that, stay well, stay happy.